Hello everyone, welcome to another guided meditation. My name is Sage and I work for the Oregon City Public Library. Apologies ahead of time for child sounds in the background. Today's meditation is all about processing grief and loss. And this is a really hard topic because it can mean so many different things. There are so many different types of or ways to process grief, and we all go through it differently. And also, grief doesn't have to necessarily come from the death of a person. It can come from a lot of things. An ending a specific time in your life. It can come from leaving a relationship or a job, or cutting ties with family. And even in moments where we feel like this is the best possible thing for us right now, that can still leave us feeling really heartbroken and oftentimes isolated and going through those phases of grief, maybe without even recognizing that that's what's happening. So that's kind of my preface for this, is maybe there's been this weird feeling that you've been experiencing, this sense of like dread or loss or isolation or just like discomfort. Sometimes grief even shows up like this feeling of being guilty about something. Maybe you're associating that with like not having been able to say what you wanted to say before someone left in whatever capacity. So there's like, grief is something that really encapsulates almost every single emotion at once. And it's mostly the harder emotions to deal with. But what's beautiful about grief is that it's such a huge indication of change and moving forward, and literally moving into a new phase of your life, which is something to be celebrated. So just know that what you're experiencing right now, even if it's small, even if it's huge and feels like it's never going to feel better, it will feel better and it will be hard. So remember that, and remember that you are strong just for existing and experiencing this. Okay. So get comfortable, really get cozy. I'm talking your favorite cozy hoodie, your sweatpants, your fuzzy socks, or curl up in the bathtub or on the couch with a bunch of blankets. Take a moment to get cozy, maybe drink some tea, do anything that you need to do before watching the rest of this that will help guide you into a sense of ease and comfort, because oftentimes self-care is something that gets overlooked when we're feeling grief, especially if our kind of coping mechanism is to just push through or keep going or keep working. Especially, we can really get lost in our work, or really get lost in just going and forgetting to rest, and that might become a habit that follows you for many years to come. Maybe your current need to continue working is actually from an unprocessed feeling of grief from like many years ago. So, okay, now we can get into it as long as you're cozy and you're ready. So start just by noticing where you might be holding any tension in your body. Maybe your neck, your shoulders, your belly. Take a deep breath and just notice where that breath stops. So maybe it's a shallow breath, and that's okay. We're just recognizing where we are today, not trying to fix anything, not trying to change anything. The hard part about grief is that often we can't do anything to speed up the process, and we can only make it a little more manageable. And sometimes that just means sitting with it. So take a breath. Let it go. take a breath and just place your hand wherever you feel that breath end. So maybe it's a shallow breath and it's closer to your throat or your upper chest, or maybe you feel that all the way in your belly. Wherever you can physically feel movement. Good. Just notice when you're sitting here in stillness, in silence. What are some feelings that start to pop up? And maybe those are unrecognizable at first, or especially unrecognizable as grief. So these can pop up as maybe you feel almost like a bellyache, or nausea, or a headache. It can be a very physical interpretation of your emotions. Or it can just be a little twist in your gut, or an actual ache in your chest. Maybe it feels like anger or disappointment. Wherever you're feeling the most intensity right now in your body, place your second hand there. Hold this moment, knowing that it might take some time, but it will feel better. Looking into the future. Holding space for anything that is to come of this experience. Where can you grow? How can you grow? What does healing look like for you? And who do you want to be on the other side of it? One more breath. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this process goes as, I don't know. I could say I hope it goes smoothly, but it probably won't because grief is hard. So I just hope that you're able to recognize your own power and strength in this moment. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.